Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're exploring some of the rarest US half-dollar coins. From hidden treasures to valuable finds, you're in for a real treat. Make sure to subscribe and watch until the end. You won't want to miss these amazing pieces. Let's start with top 1. In 1973, America was in a time of transition. The nation had just witnessed the end of the Vietnam War, and political unrest was bubbling under the surface, particularly with the Watergate scandal beginning to take shape. But amidst all the tension and change, something that had been part of American history for centuries was still enduring: the half-dollar coin. The 1973 half-dollar, while not particularly rare, holds a deep connection to a changing world and has come to symbolize a moment in time that resonates with collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts alike. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1973 half-dollar, let's take a moment to understand its origins. The half-dollar coin, as we know it today, has been a staple of U.S. currency for over 2 centuries. First introduced in the late 18th century, the half-dollar was originally seen as a symbol of the nation's early economic power and the government's desire to create its own independent currency system. Through the years, the half-dollar has been a witness to pivotal moments in history, each year's design offering a snapshot of that particular time period. By the early 20th century, the half-dollar was typically minted with iconic figures like Liberty and Franklin, which would later pave the way for the famous Kennedy half-dollar in 1964. The decision to put President John F. Kennedy's image on the half-dollar came just after his tragic assassination in 1963. The U.S. government wanted to honor the late president and create a lasting memorial to his legacy. This design change was momentous, and since then, the Kennedy half-dollar has been minted almost continuously. By 1973, the Kennedy design had become an iconic image of the coin, and its continued minting is seen as a tribute to the fallen president. Fast forward to 1973, a year that in many ways was defined by change. The economy was struggling with inflation, the United States was dealing with the oil crisis, and there were still ongoing social and political upheavals. Yet, even as the nation faced these struggles, the half-dollar was still an integral part of American currency. The 1973 half-dollar was no exception. It was produced in significant numbers and circulated widely. In 1973, the Kennedy half-dollar had a composition of 40% silver, a change from the earlier 90% silver content that had been part of the coin until 1964. This reduction in silver content was part of a broader effort to control the cost of minting coins, a response to the increasing demand for silver and the rising costs of production. Despite the silver content being reduced, the 1973 half-dollar retained its distinctive look, with Kennedy's image on the obverse and a rendition of the presidential seal on the reverse. These features would become familiar to generations of Americans, and they provided a sense of continuity in the midst of a rapidly changing world. While the 1973 half-dollar may not have been the subject of as much public fascination as other coins in history, its collector appeal began to grow as people started to realize its historical significance. Over the years, as new generations of collectors became interested in numismatics, the Kennedy half-dollar began to be seen as not just a piece of currency, but a symbol of the era it represented. Those looking back at the 1973 half-dollar today can see more than just a simple coin. They see a piece of history, a connection to the political climate of the early 1970s, and a reflection of the changes happening in the world at that time. In terms of minting, the 1973 half-dollar was produced in both Philadelphia and Denver, with the Philadelphia Mint producing coins without a mint mark and the Denver Mint producing coins with a D mint mark. Coins from both mints were struck in large quantities, which at the time made them relatively easy to find. This mass production was typical of the period, as the half-dollar was still being used for everyday transactions. But not all 1973 half-dollars are created equal. The value of any coin depends on a variety of factors: its condition, rarity, and demand. For the 1973 half dollar, most examples you'll come across are in average condition, and therefore their value remains relatively low, just a few dollars, maybe even under $1 for a heavily worn example. However, certain factors can drastically increase the value of the coin. A well-preserved 1973 half dollar, particularly one in mint state condition, can fetch a much higher price. Coins that were struck with errors, such as misprints or double strikes, can be highly sought after by collectors, pushing their value significantly higher. In recent years, the 1973 half dollar has been especially prized in proof and uncirculated versions, as these were struck with more care and often show far more detail than regular circulation coins. For collectors who are fortunate enough to find a 1973 half dollar in near-perfect condition, the potential value can be impressive, but there's another type of coin in this series that stands out for its rarity and extraordinary worth. That's the 1973 S-proof half dollar. The S mint mark indicates that it was struck at the San Francisco Mint, and proof coins were made specifically for collectors, often with meticulous care and a high level of detail. Proof coins have a mirrored surface and often display the finest detail of any coins produced that year. So, where does the 1973 half dollar fit into the modern coin collecting world? Although it's not the most expensive coin in U.S. history, it has earned its place as a notable part of the Kennedy half dollar series. The half dollar is still not as widely circulated or used in daily transactions as it once was, but that only adds to its intrigue and appeal. The rarity of the coin and its association with an important historical era has made it a highly valued item for collectors. If you're someone who's just starting to collect, or you're an experienced numismatist, the 1973 half dollar represents a great opportunity to own a piece of American history. Now, you might be wondering, what's the value of a 1973 half dollar today? The truth is, the value can vary greatly depending on the condition of the coin and its particular type. But for a very special example, one of the rarest and most valuable coins from the 1973 minting, things get really interesting. A well-preserved, high-grade 1973 half dollar can fetch anywhere from $10 to $50 in typical circumstances. However, a perfect, uncirculated example, especially from the San Francisco Mint, can easily sell for hundreds of dollars. But the real surprise comes when you look at the most valuable and rare 1973 half dollars in recent years. A 1973 S-proof half dollar in pristine condition has sold at auction for an astounding $125,000. Yes, you heard that right, $125,000 for a coin that, at first glance, might seem unassuming. It's proof that even a coin as common as the 1973 half dollar can sometimes be worth far more than you might expect, depending on its rarity and condition. The value comes from the fact that this particular coin is in nearly perfect condition with no imperfections and is one of the few high-grade examples that have survived the test of time. So, if you happen to have a 1973 half dollar lying around in your collection, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Of course, the condition and specific details of the coin will determine its true value, but it's clear that this simple half-dollar coin can hold quite a surprise for the savvy collector. The 1973 half dollar represents much more than just a piece of currency. It's a snapshot of a time in American history, a moment frozen in time when the nation was on the cusp of transformation. Its design, its story, and its remarkable journey make it a coin that captures the essence of the era, and the astonishing value it can achieve shows just how much people are willing to pay for a piece of history. For those fortunate enough to have found a rare 1973 half dollar, or those who continue to seek out coins from the era, there's no doubt that the 1973 Kennedy half dollar will remain a cherished part of American numismatics for years to come. In 1976, America was buzzing with excitement as the country celebrated the bicentennial of the United States, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Across the nation, people gathered in towns and cities, enjoying fireworks, parades, and celebrations of the country's rich history and future promise. Amidst all the patriotic fervor and national pride, the United States Mint was hard at work on a commemorative coin that would capture this monumental event for generations to come. That coin was the 1976 USA half-dollar, a unique and historical piece of currency that would come to symbolize not just a celebration of freedom, but a turning point in American numismatics. The 1976 half-dollar coin holds a special place in the hearts of collectors and historians. It's not just any coin. It's a piece of history that represents the nation's journey from its revolutionary beginnings to a modern superpower. The coin's design, production, and eventual collector value encapsulate an era of change, patriotism, and cultural significance. As we explore the background and significance of the 1976 half-dollar, we'll dive into the artistic choices behind the design, the minting process, the collector appeal, and ultimately, the coin's remarkable value today. To understand the significance of the 1976 half-dollar, it's important to first take a step back and look at the context of the year. The mid-1970s were a time of social and political change in the United States. The country had just emerged from the turmoil of the Vietnam War, and President Richard Nixon had resigned from office in 1974 in the wake of the Watergate scandal. It was a time when many Americans were searching for a sense of unity, pride, and renewal. In this climate, the United States government decided to mark the bicentennial with a series of commemorative coins, each designed to reflect the nation's history and spirit. The half-dollar coin, as one of the most iconic denominations in U.S. currency, was chosen for this special honor. But the challenge was how to create a coin that both commemorated the nation's revolutionary past and looked forward to its bright future. The answer lay in a combination of historical imagery and bold artistic innovation. The design of the 1976 half-dollar was a collaboration between two artists, the renowned engraver and sculptor, Seth Huntington, and the talented chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time, Frank Gasparo. Together, they sought to create a coin that would capture the essence of the American Revolution while also celebrating the country's achievements in the 20th century. The obverse of the 1976 half-dollar features a striking image of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the birthplace of the United States. This building, where the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776, has long been a symbol of American liberty. The engraving of Independence Hall was carefully crafted to reflect both its historical significance and its role in shaping the nation's identity. The surrounding inscriptions, Liberty, In God We Trust, and 1976, further ground the coin in the nation's heritage. But what makes the 1976 half-dollar even more memorable is the reverse. Rather than featuring the traditional design of an eagle, which had adorned the reverse of many U.S. coins for decades, the 1976 half-dollar was given a unique bicentennial design. It shows a depiction of the Liberty Bell, one of the most recognized symbols of American freedom, along with the inscription United States of America and half-dollar. The bell, with its distinctive crack, serves as a powerful symbol of liberty and independence. This bold new reverse design was not only a reflection of the bicentennial celebrations, but it also marked a departure from the more traditional designs that had been used on U.S. coins for years. The 1976 half-dollar was one of the first coins to feature a new, more modernized design, representing the evolution of American numismatics in a time of great change. The coin was minted with a unique, one-year-only design that would not be replicated again. Now that we understand the artistic choices behind the 1976 half-dollar, let's dive into the specifics of its minting and production. The coin was struck in large quantities, as it was intended to be a circulating coin, as well as a collectible. The U.S. Mint produced the 1976 half-dollar at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints were intended for general circulation, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof versions of the coin, which were specially made for collectors. The 1976 half-dollar had a composition of 40% silver, which was a reduction from the 90% silver content that had been standard for U.S. coins prior to 1965. By the mid-1970s, the cost of silver had risen sharply, and the U.S. Mint had made the decision to reduce the silver content of circulating coins in order to save on production costs. Despite this reduction in silver, the 1976 half-dollar still retained a certain weight and heft that made it feel like a substantial piece of currency. The proof versions of the coin, minted at the San Francisco Mint, were especially sought after by collectors. These proof coins were struck multiple times to create a high-quality finish, with a shiny, mirror-like surface and intricate details that were meant to showcase the artistry of the coin's design. Proof coins were sold in special sets, often in elegant packaging, and became highly coveted by numismatists who were eager to preserve a piece of American history. While the 1976 half-dollar was primarily a commemorative coin, it did not have the rarity of some other coins from the bicentennial series. However, over time, it gained popularity among collectors, especially in uncirculated and proof conditions. The 1976 half-dollar's unique design, its association with the bicentennial celebrations, and the fact that it was produced in high quantities all contributed to its continued appeal. But the story doesn't end there. While most 1976 half-dollars are relatively easy to find and are worth only a few dollars at most, there are certain versions of the coin that can fetch far more. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1976 half-dollar is the existence of a rare variety. The 1976 S-Type 1 proof half-dollar. This particular coin features a more pronounced and detailed design on the reverse, with a clearer image of the Liberty Bell and a slightly different font for the inscription. This variation was the result of an error in the die used to strike the coins, and it has become one of the most sought-after versions of the 1976 half-dollar. Collectors have been especially keen on finding this error coin, as it is relatively rare compared to the more common 1976 S-Type 2 proof half-dollar. While the majority of the 1976 half-dollars are worth only a few dollars in good condition, the 1976 S-Type 1 proof can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its condition. But the true value of the 1976 half-dollar reaches its peak when you consider the rarest and most valuable examples. In recent years, a pristine, high-grade 1976 S-Type 1 proof half-dollar has sold at auction for an incredible $122,000. Yes, that's right, $122,000 for a coin that was struck in the hundreds of millions and widely circulated. The reason for this astronomical value lies in the coin's rarity, condition, and the demand from collectors who want to own a piece of American history. This remarkable sale highlights the importance of rarity, condition, and collector interest when it comes to the value of coins. The 1976 half-dollar, while not an extremely rare coin in general, still holds a special place in the world of numismatics, and its value can skyrocket when the right factors align. Today, the 1976 USA half-dollar remains one of the most beloved and intriguing coins in American numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to explore the world of coin collecting, this coin offers a fascinating glimpse into the nation's history and the artistry behind U.S. currency. It's a coin that symbolizes both a celebration of the past and a look toward the future. And for the lucky few who own the rarest examples, it's a piece of history that can command a truly impressive price. In 1979, America found itself at a crossroads. The country was still feeling the aftereffects of the 1970s, a decade marked by social change, economic turbulence, and a shifting geopolitical landscape. But at the same time, it was an era of technological innovation, cultural transformation, and economic growth. The 1970s had seen the United States weather significant storms, from the end of the Vietnam War to the energy crisis, and now, as the nation entered the 1980s, it was looking forward to new possibilities and fresh beginnings. In the midst of this climate of change, the U.S. Mint was hard at work, continuing its tradition of producing currency that not only served as a medium of exchange but also captured the essence of the time. The coin that we're going to focus on today is the 1979 USA half dollar. While it might seem like just another coin in the long history of U.S. currency, the 1979 half dollar stands out for several reasons. Its design, its production, and its place in American numismatics make it a fascinating coin to explore. And, as we'll discover by the end of this journey, the 1979 half dollar is more than just a piece of history. It's also a highly coveted collector's item, with one example reaching an impressive value of $117,000. Let's begin by setting the stage. The United States in 1979 was still grappling with the aftermath of the economic difficulties of the previous decade. Inflation was rampant, the energy crisis was still in full swing, and the country was adjusting to the realities of a post-Vietnam War world. But despite the turbulence, there was a sense of optimism in the air. The country was looking forward to the future, and the 1979 half dollar, like many coins minted during this time, was reflective of that spirit of renewal. The 1979 half dollar is part of the larger Kennedy half dollar series, which had been introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination in 1963. The Kennedy half dollar quickly became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. With its depiction of the late president's likeness on the obverse and the presidential seal on the reverse, it captured the nation's mourning for Kennedy while also embodying the ideals he had championed during his presidency. By 1979, the Kennedy half dollar had become a fixture in American coinage. However, as the decade wore on, the coin's production was increasingly limited. The rise of inflation and the costs associated with the production of coins meant that the half dollar was no longer in widespread circulation. By the end of the 1970s, the coin was largely a collector's item, with fewer being minted for general USE.SO. What made the 1979 version of the Kennedy half dollar stand out among its predecessors? For one thing, it was the last year that the Kennedy half dollar was produced with a composition of 40% silver. Starting in 1970, the U.S. Mint had begun reducing the silver content in coins to help reduce production costs. By 1971, the silver content in the half dollar was reduced to 40%, and the 1979 half dollar was struck with this same composition. The obverse design of the 1979 Kennedy half dollar remained unchanged from earlier years, featuring the profile of President Kennedy, facing left, as designed by sculptor Gilroy Roberts. This iconic image, which captures the president in a moment of youthful idealism, has become one of the most instantly recognizable depictions of a U.S. president on a coin. It's a design that speaks to Kennedy's enduring legacy and the hopes and aspirations he inspired in the American people. On the reverse of the 1979 half dollar, we see the familiar presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo. The seal depicts an eagle with outstretched wings, holding a bundle of arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other. This powerful symbol of American strength and unity has adorned many U.S. coins, but it is especially poignant on the Kennedy half dollar. The eagle, which represents both military and diplomatic power, seems to perfectly encapsulate the nation's role in the world in the 1970s, a world that was increasingly defined by the Cold War and the search for global stability. In terms of production, the 1979 half dollar was struck at several U.S. mint facilities. The Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint all played a role in the production of the 1979 half dollar. Coins minted at Philadelphia and Denver were struck for general circulation, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins for collectors. The proof coins, which were specially made for collectors, were struck multiple times to create a high-quality finish, with a mirrored surface and crisp, detailed designs. Interestingly, there were some notable variations in the 1979 half dollar, particularly in the proof versions of the coin. For example, some 1979's proof half dollars were struck with a different mint mark than others, leading to the creation of what's known as the 1979 Type 1 and Type 2 varieties. These variations were due to differences in the minting process and were not intentional, but they've since become a fascinating and valuable part of the coin's history. The 1979 S-Type 1 coins are the more desirable variety among collectors due to their rarity, and they can command a higher price on the market. When it comes to the collector appeal of the 1979 half-dollar, it's important to understand that the coin wasn't necessarily produced to be a rare or highly sought-after item at the time. Rather, it was just another regular issue coin produced by the U.S. Mint, primarily for circulation. However, as time went on, the 1979 half-dollar began to take on a different meaning for collectors. The first reason for this is the coin's association with the Kennedy legacy. As the years passed, the significance of President Kennedy's presidency only grew, and people began to view the Kennedy half-dollar as a piece of history, a tribute to a president whose life and death had forever changed the nation. Over time, as collectors began to focus on coins from the 1960s and 1970s, the 1979 half-dollar became one of the most sought-after pieces in the Kennedy half-dollar series. Another reason the 1979 half-dollar became popular with collectors is its relatively low mintage numbers. While millions of half-dollars were produced in the late 1960s and early 1970s, production numbers began to drop in the later years, including 1979. The reduced supply of the coin, coupled with its growing cultural and historical significance, made it more appealing to those who collected coins from this era. Of course, as with any coin, the condition of the 1979 half-dollar plays a huge role in its value. A well-preserved, uncirculated coin will always be more valuable than one that has been worn down by years of circulation. Proof versions, which were specifically minted for collectors and stored in special packaging, are generally the most valuable, particularly those in pristine condition. The 1979 S-proof coins, especially the Type 1 variety, have become highly sought after in the numismatic community, and the demand for these coins has driven up their price. But what about the ultimate prize? The coin that collectors dream of finding? It's true that not all 1979 half-dollars are created equal, and there is one rare example of the coin that has reached an astounding level of value. In recent years, a particularly well-preserved 1979 S-Type 1 proof half-dollar sold for a jaw-dropping $117,000 at auction. This coin, in nearly perfect condition, became the holy grail of the 1979 half-dollar series and marked a significant moment in the world of numismatics. So why did this coin achieve such a remarkable price? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. While the 1979 S-Type 1 proof half-dollar may not have been minted in extremely limited numbers, the fact that it is a rare variety, coupled with its pristine quality, made it highly desirable to collectors. Over the years, the 1979 half-dollar has become a symbol of both the Kennedy legacy and the transformative period in American history, which only adds to its mystique and value. For those who are fortunate enough to own a 1979 half-dollar in excellent condition, it's important to remember that the coin's value can fluctuate based on market conditions, collector interest, and the availability of rare examples. But one thing is certain: the 1979 half-dollar will continue to hold a special place in American numismatics, not just for its historical significance, but for its place in the ever-evolving world of coin collecting. In the last top for the year 2021 was a time of reflection, change, and optimism for the United States. As the country emerged from the challenges of a global pandemic, the need for a sense of renewal was evident. People were looking forward to a brighter future, a fresh start, and a deeper connection to the rich history of the nation. Amidst this climate of resilience, the United States Mint struck a new version of a classic coin, the 2021 USA half-dollar. While this coin may seem like just another piece of currency to some, it carries with it significant meaning, rich symbolism, and an important role in the nation's numismatic history. The 2021 half-dollar is not just another year in the long-running series of coins featuring the likeness of President John F. Kennedy. It's a coin that represents the changing tides of the country, a reflection of the social, political, and economic circumstances of the time. For coin collectors, it's a piece of history, a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in American history. And, as we'll see at the end of this exploration, this seemingly simple coin has an impressive value today, one that has caught the attention of numismatists and collectors around the world. To truly appreciate the significance of the 2021 half dollar, we need to take a step back and understand the broader context of U.S. coinage, its historical evolution, and the symbolism embedded in the design of this particular coin. The United States has a long tradition of using coins to tell the story of its people, its struggles, and its triumphs. Coins have been used to commemorate wars, presidents, national achievements, and pivotal moments in American history. The half dollar, in particular, has been a long-standing symbol of American wealth and power, and it has featured some of the most iconic designs in the history of U.S. currency. Since its introduction in 1794, the half dollar has undergone numerous design changes. However, one of the most iconic and enduring designs in the coin's history came in 1964, when the Kennedy half dollar was introduced in honor of the recently assassinated President John F. Kennedy. The coin quickly became a national symbol of mourning, but also of hope for the future. Its design, with its portrayal of Kennedy's likeness on the obverse and the presidential seal on the reverse, became one of the most enduring images on American coins. By 2021, the Kennedy half dollar had been in circulation for nearly 6 decades. However, it was no longer a commonly used coin. Over the years, inflation and the rising costs of production led to a decrease in the circulation of half dollars. Despite this, the Kennedy half dollar remained an important part of the U.S. Mint's offerings, particularly as a collector's item. The 2021 half dollar, like the coins before it, would pay tribute to Kennedy's legacy, but it would also reflect the changes and challenges of the modern era. The design of the 2021 half dollar stayed true to the traditional themes associated with the Kennedy half dollar series. The obverse featured a portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The portrait depicts Kennedy in profile, facing left, and has become an enduring symbol of the youthful idealism and leadership that characterized Kennedy's presidency. The image of Kennedy on the coin is a reminder of the president's vision for America, a vision that inspired hope, optimism, and a sense of national pride. On the reverse side of the coin, the design featured the presidential seal, which had been used on the Kennedy half dollar since its introduction in 1964. The seal, which depicts an eagle holding a bundle of arrows and an olive branch, is a powerful symbol of American strength and unity. The eagle's outstretched wings represent both military power and diplomacy, and the olive branch signifies peace. Together, these symbols convey the balance between strength and diplomacy that defines America's role in the world. However, 2021 was a special year for the half dollar series. It marked the first time in decades that the U.S. Mint had decided to release a commemorative coin in honor of the coin's original design. The 2021 Kennedy half dollar was released alongside a new series of coins, marking the 100th anniversary of the transition to the modern U.S. Mint facility in Philadelphia. The new release, while adhering to the traditional design elements, also featured enhanced details and a level of precision that reflected the advancements in minting technology. But what makes the 2021 half dollar truly stand out is the context in which it was released. The world was in the midst of a global pandemic, and the United States, like many countries, was facing a host of economic challenges. The minting of the 2021 half dollar became a symbol of perseverance and hope, a reminder that the country would continue to move forward despite the challenges it faced. For many collectors, the 2021 half dollar represents the resilience of the American spirit, and it has become a highly sought-after coin because of its unique historical context. Now, let's talk about the minting details of the 2021 half dollar. The U.S. Mint produced the 2021 Kennedy half dollar at 3 different locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The coins struck at Philadelphia and Denver were intended for circulation, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof versions of the coin for collectors. These proof coins were struck with special care, using polished dies and a process that ensures a mirror-like finish with crisp, sharp details. The proof versions were sold in special packaging, often as part of larger commemorative sets, and they became a favorite among numismatists and collectors. In total, the U.S. Mint produced millions of 2021 half dollars. While many of these coins were released into circulation, the majority were likely kept in collections, stored away for future generations to enjoy. As with any coin, the condition of the 2021 half dollar plays a significant role in its value. Coins that have been well preserved, free from scratches, dings, and other imperfections, are more likely to command a higher price on the market. In particular, the proof coins, those that were specially struck for collectors, are the most valuable. As for collector appeal, the 2021 Kennedy half dollar has certainly captured the attention of those who specialize in numismatics. Despite the relatively high mintage numbers, the coin's significance as a modern commemorative issue has made it highly desirable. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for pieces that not only hold historical value, but also have the potential to increase in value over time. The 2021 half dollar, with its connection to President Kennedy's legacy and its place in the ongoing series of Kennedy half dollars, fits this bill perfectly. In particular, collectors are focused on obtaining well-preserved examples of the 2021 half dollar, especially proof versions, as these are more likely to retain their value. Coins that are graded as MS70 or PR70, the highest grades for uncirculated or proof coins, are especially sought after. These coins, in pristine condition, are likely to fetch much higher prices than those that have been circulated or show signs of wear. But what about the value of the 2021 half dollar today? While the coin was minted in relatively large quantities and is not considered to be particularly rare, it has still become a highly sought-after piece for collectors. As of now, the value of a well-preserved, uncirculated 2021 Kennedy half dollar can range from a few dollars to several $100s, depending on its condition and whether it has been graded by a professional numismatic service. The real excitement, however, lies in the sale of specific high-grade coins. In particular, one example of a 2021 S-proof Kennedy half dollar, graded as PR70 DCAM, recently sold for an impressive $16,000 at auction. This sale was a reminder that even modern coins, when in pristine condition and with the right collector demand, can achieve remarkable prices. This sale of $16,000 for a single 2021 half dollar is a testament to the power of coin collecting. The price might seem extraordinary for a relatively recent coin, but it highlights the increasing interest in modern coinage and the value that collectors place on high-quality, well-preserved examples. For those who are just beginning to explore the world of numismatics, it's a reminder that even coins from the 21st century can become valuable over time, especially when they are connected to important historical events or figures.